Oh God, you could have told me that. I could have did it while I was waiting. Now I gotta run my ass back there. You'll never catch the fat cat. You got a gross invite from some weird person. It's funny on how slow you feel starting out for the first time. Like, oh my God, it takes forever to cross this map. Go, go, fatty catty. Hey, stop giving me XP. Okay. Here we are. Continuing on. There's a sack of giant skulls for you. Okay. Here you are, a sack of the purest giant gall. We always set some aside for our alchemist friends. How nice of you. When you deliver it, let the good folks of the Great Works know that we're grateful for their efforts. If they need more, they need but ask. Okay, so now I gotta go back to the Great Works. I'm assuming the easy way to do it is to do this. Take a page out of Zero's book. Alrighty. Add a new in. Oh, gotta do some adjustment. Oops. That you. Oh my, such fine specimens. Thank you so much for bringing these. We now have everything we need to make our next prototype, one that should be capable of passing our most rigorous tests. When it is ready, it will be time for the true test, so please take your ease while you can. Rude. Gonna beat me to death in tests, are you? What is happening?
I see our taskmasters have allowed you a moment's respite as well.
Sweet voice talking.
You have to hand it to these alchemists. They are determined to see this endeavor of theirs succeed. I've never been one for blind optimism, but I sincerely get the sense they're close to a breakthrough.
Nice.
They had better be, or all this effort was for naught.
The peoples of Eorzea, of the Far East, of Tavner.
children of this star united in common cause against a dire threat. Yet ere they succumbed to suicidal madness, were not the Telophoroi born of her body as were we? They who cling to life and the promise of the morrow's dawn, against they who desire death and an ending of their own orchestration.
Yeah, that would suck.
The victors of this war alone will hold the right to answer the question of existence, of its meaning, and its worth.
Poetic and ominous to a fault. That said, if it's an existential debate in nature, then our arguments might not be as persuasive as you'd think.
You tell.
Fandaniel wants to die and take everyone with him in an orgy of pain and suffering. An utterly vile and unforgivable idea.
Yep.
And yet, when spat upon by fate and wailing in the deepest pit of despair, who among us can say they have not entertained similar thoughts? There are nights black as pitch, bereft of hope, and no words of comfort can reach you. And it's all you can do to grit your teeth and choke back the bile.
The more you see and suffer life's injustices, the more difficult they become to bear.
Are you? On what? Oh.
Vengeance is nurtured in similar soil. Though your anger has a broader focus, the sentiment is much the same. A fervent desire to destroy others, to see them drown in torment, as you have.
That about sums it up. The will to endure is not always as strong as the urge to burn it all down and salt the earth. Survival be damned. It's a struggle, often close and brutal.
Indeed. Well, I, for one, shall pray survival proveth more appealing in the end.
Yeah, but that's what the other guys were doing, trying to survive too, even after they ended.
As will I. Besides, our chances are much improved when we've the company of others committed to the cause of life. Our vengeful dragoon here is proof of that. What is it? What did you see? Fandaniel, are you sure? If he knows we've been working on a countermeasure.
It holds. The vessel holds! This is the one!
At long last! Look! We have finally created a talisman strong enough to withstand our experiments!
Sweet.
We've named it a warding scale for the time being. With this in your possession, your soul should be completely shielded from corruptive ether.
Afforded such protection, any one of us may approach the towers without fear. Thou hast mine admiration. 'Tis an invention of historical significance.
I thank you for your kind words. But I would prefer you keep them unsaid until we test the talisman's efficacy in the field. It is for the next stage of our plan that we summoned you in the first place, to accompany me to the Tower of Zot. Should the scale prove effective, as I very much hope it will, then you'll have little to do. But should the effect be weaker than anticipated, I must ask that you restrain me, or knock me senseless.
Let's hope it doesn't come to that. Oh, you needn't ask. It's like, let's be nice or be a dick. My character's always more so on the nicest side, so.
Either way, we are fortunate to have you with us.
Nidana, are you certain you wish to do this?
Yeah, you couldn't give it to one of the signs right next to me that have a better chance of getting untempered
Others
from
are to trust our
Alizé?
creations, then we must have faith in them first. And as the senior researcher, it falls to me to lead by example. But should I fail to return, then learn what you can from this attempt and apply it to the next. Our work must continue. Is that clear?
We'll keep an eye on the place while you're away. Assuming Fandaniel is lurking about, there's no telling what mischief he has in mind for us, or you. Be on your guard.
Shall we be on our way? I'll have one of the soldiers at the hatchery prepare us a boat, and we can set out from the northern shore. I'll see you there.
We're gonna go on an elephant boat ride. What do you mean? I was getting XP before. Hi, where are you now? Okay, so I gotta get over there. Well, yeah, because you switched the zones, didn't you? Because you're, go this way. Load in the map. Alright, load it. Oh, maybe I got the XP from loading some map in and I didn't realize it. Walrus. Boat. This is a rather finer boat than I had expected, but I won't complain. All that remains is to board and be on our way. Oh, and if I should become corrupted, do not stay your hand. Of course, I pray it does not come to that, but you must protect yourself. Other alchemists can fulfill my role, but you and your blessing are one of a kind and perhaps our only hope for toppling this tower. For all our sakes, do not hesitate to do what must be done, whatever that may be. Well, the longer I draw this out, the more nervous I become. Let's be off. Head to the Tower of Zot. Yes.
We should soon cross the threshold of the tower's influence.
Sweet.
Any moment now. It's working! And you are still yourself? Then I'd like to see how it fares closer to the tower if we could. So far, so good. The scale's protection appears to be holding. If we can just make it to the tower's entrance.
That shield doesn't look like it's gonna make it.
A few more steps.
I feel like I'm gonna be dealing with getting some ivory.
Praise be to the sisters, we made it! And the scale has proven itself to be everything we hoped it would be. Now we can focus on production. Once we've equipped and returned with an entire survey team, this menace will soon give up its secrets.
Uh-oh. That was unexpected.
Oh, let me go! Oh, let me go! Oh!
Oh, do calm down. You'll only hurt yourself thrashing about like that.
Stop! Oh, you can't do this! Please!
A little late for heroics, I'm afraid. The similarities are striking. My! Such hostility! Never before has my artistry so displeased. My patrons of old would have positively squealed in delight, though, between you and me, I find gushing praise exhausting. Allow me to tell you a story.
Okay.
Surely you've yet to hear the one about Van Daniel, the sundered Ascian.
Tell me this story.
I inherited the position and the soul of the Van Daniel who sat on the convocation in the time of the final days, theoretically speaking. Practically speaking, that fact is of no consequence. I was born and lived as, well, me. Eventually, I was recruited into the Ascians and imbued with the former Van Daniel's knowledge and memories, but I never felt that they were truly a part of who I am.
I knew there was two in you.
Perhaps if I told you who I was before my Ascian embrace, although that chapter too is a past I've long since discarded. I have it on good authority you've poked your nose into an Allegan ruin or two. Yes? Then I expect you've heard of me. The old me.
At your service.
Oh, you kidding? That was fucking unexpected. No wonder people said that in chat and that it was unexpected.
Unbridled prosperity. Every need met.
He's the wizard that helped to create the immortality of the Allegan Emperor that we fought in the tower. He was that guy with that red hat. Amon was that guy with the red hat in the tower.
For decay.
You are a genius without peer, Amon. However do you conceive of such delightful experiments? That fool was beside himself with panic when he awoke with the head of a bull. Even his cries for help emerged as so much guttural lowing. Oh, the memory of it. My poor sides. My friends and I were so consumed by laughter we struggled to breathe.
No more than entertainment for bored wastrels ignorant of its worth. My all-consuming work. But it was not their only indulgence. For they were ever hungry for stimulation, slaves to the slightest hint that amusement was afoot. Our nation was ailing, but I would see the poison purged. I resurrected a legend, our first and greatest emperor.
Yes, you did.
And just as I had planned, he set our wayward empire back on the path of conquest. An inexhaustible ambition carried us onwards, always onwards. Yet, he who delivered to us such glory was not to be satisfied.
Heed me, Amon. No matter how vast one's empire, or full one's treasure vault, all is rendered meaningless by death. In the end, all is lost.
You know as well as I that the Emperor stands to lose this war. And so I have come to claim you. For while your methods leave something to be desired, we cannot deny the results of your work. And as fortune would have it, the seat of Fandaniel, your rightful seat, lies vacant and waiting. Take your place amongst your peers, rather than die a pointless death amidst the ashes of your doomed nation. Send one of your clones to the Crystal Tower that you might see for yourself. See what lies ahead.
The fall of the
Holy
Empire
shit.
affirmed the truth. Majestic and tragic, as the Emperor foresaw. Scheme as you like, build as you will, nothing endures. What is life but a brief jaunt ending in emptiness?
So easily distracted. Why, I almost left without saying farewell. As for your friend, you needn't worry. These pawns are far more useful to me alive as fuel for the primals. If you attempt to pull them free, they will die. So, enjoy tackling that conundrum with your comrades. We shall meet again. Not in what it means mine spine own, but somewhere more suitably grandiose. Your favorite playmate is ever so eager to see you.
At least go get the thing that he threw away. Yes, but that's their way of bringing the rest of the crew. Well, that was a definite eye-opener. Fuck, they just keep throwing more twists at this. Well, again, as I was saying, he basically, in his past life, was Amon. And Amon was a researcher in the Elegant Empire, their head researcher, who essentially found a way to resurrect Zonde, again, one of the final bosses in Crystal Tower, whereas Amon was one of the secondary bosses before him. To help resurrect the Zonde, who essentially put the Elegant Empire back on the path of war. The only problem is Zonde kept on losing to the Thavnirians because of Bahamut, and to the point that he was starting to murder his own people that weren't giving him proper solutions to solve this problem. Which eventually then they captured Bahamut. And that's where the problem came from, that whole situation, and the Bahamut being trapped in the thing. That was all inelegant, and you kind of learn about that when you go through Bahamut's coil. So again, all of this ties in to one story, which is amazing on how well they're binding this story together. And it's interesting on how they keep bringing more in of the Crystal Tower and the Elegant Empire into the storyline, and how they're tying it together. Like, you were only getting bits and pieces throughout the game, from the beginning where you kind of met Graha and you started going through the tower, and the boss and stuff you were fighting in there, and kind of getting bits and pieces of story, but they're starting to truly bind it all together now, and it's amazing on how they're doing it. This is truly artistry in their writing. You are returned, but where is Mistress Nahanya? Masuya preserves, just when we had succeeded in making the talisman. I must report this at once. Meanwhile, please return to the Grey Works. Hopefully they have all that information jotted down to make another one. Because it did work, supposedly. Until she dropped it, of course. So now, I'm assuming I gotta go back to that works place, yeah. Okay, so where are you exactly right now? Well, I'm just trying to, like you said, we're in a different instance? Can't remember how we used to be able to tell that. Something's gone awry, hasn't it? What happened? So it was Fandaniel after all. Damn that bastard. I'm sure you wanted to do more, but you were right to return here first. We must tread wary lest we endanger Nehanya and the others captives. Hey, Thancred is wearing a grim expression. Uh-oh. First, we must inform everyone of the situation, Nidhanya's colleagues included. I'll call them together for a gathering, but I think it would be best if you were the one to explain. How do I explain anything? I don't make a sound. Like, I'm talking right now, but my character doesn't make any noise. Oh, Nidhanya sob. Can you answer me this? Though Nidhanya is trapped in the tower, she's still alive, yes? Then we must make wording scales as many as we can. The prototype works perfectly. This Nidhanya proved it at perils to herself. So let us make more scales that she and all those who were taken might be able to be saved. As alchemists, this is how we will help win the fight. My friends, the satrap has been made aware of the tragedy. He offers his heartfelt condolences and he reiterates his pledge to provide you with all that you require. To that end, he bade me give you this link pearl that he might personally discuss the production of the warding skills with you. And for our Eorzean visitors, I bear an invitation. In her report, Mistress Nidhanya noted your vital contribution to the talisman creation. This fact came to the satrap's attention, and in recognition of your deeds, he wishes to meet with you. I have some weird feeling we're going to end up walking up and seeing Bahamut again. In addition to thanking you in person, he would also discuss further avenues of collaboration. Or Midgard Soma. One of the two. And so, if it is agreeable, will you not accompany me to Razadhan for an audience with His Excellency? We should be honored, of course. Closer cooperation between our lands can only be to benefit of all. Then it is settled. Please come to the gates east of the Giant Skull grounds, and I will show you into the sea. Sweet. Fuck, that was awesome. Oh, I'm getting more excited for the story every second. I don't fucking read books, but God, if this was a book, I would fucking be reading it multiple times. What? You're not gonna let me jump off the cliff? How rude! Uh-oh. Why? I don't want to go down there? Isn't that where I'm supposed to go? Okay. Turning the corners. Is it high level stuff down there? Oh yeah, I should be. By the way, your Aetheral Compass is in the collections now. 202. After this, I think we should do a roundup. I think we're missing a whole bunch of Aetheral Currents to collect. Ah, 74 to the north. Ooh, really? Oh, there it is. I seized one. Yay! Aetheral Current. Should probably put that right there. Okay, let's keep moving. Southeast. Should actually have a look at that. Okay, so 5 by quests and a whole bunch by looking around. All present, then let us proceed. Owing to the threats of the tower, the city is currently in a state of high alert, and strict restrictions are in place for entry. Though you have been granted special permission, I ask that you remain close to me at all times.
A vast rock squats upon Favnir, and to its stony surface clings the city of Rods at Han. Ye who enter here are subject to the scrutiny of gods, the gate's most watchful eye. The orb which beholdeth the truth of all things.
Still trying to figure out who the narrator's voice is, which character. I don't. It's almost like I know the character, but I don't.
Pass beneath its hot and piercing gaze, bearing down like a second midday sun.
It's the Elephant City.
The fragrant haze, a mixture of sweet incense and acrid smoke. The cries of merchants mingled here with lively melodies accented by dancers' feet. Travelers seduced by vivid sound and colors were once swallowed up by patchwork streets.
Hey, I know that door. It tricks Zero.
But no such scenes to savor now. To what somber present does that divine eye bear witness?
Oh, excuse me.
Here we are. Megaduta.
Sweet.
It seems a shame to bring you here directly. Under normal circumstances, it would have been my pleasure to show you the sights.
And it would have been our pleasure to see them. Alas, it seems our tour of the city will have to wait.
I'm afraid so. Come, we should head inside.
Show us in.
Your Excellency, may I present our honored visitors?
Ah, splendid. Most splendid. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Ahawan, satrap of Radzatan. Our alchemists tell me your assistance was invaluable in the creation of the warding scale. Such deeds ought to be recognized in person. Thus did I have young Varshan convey you here forthwith. On behalf of my people, may I express to you our sincere gratitude.
It is part of my job to progress the story, so you're welcome. He was taken. Not everything went to plan.
A regrettable incident indeed. Her colleagues insist that we honor her wishes and trust in the talisman, that it will be instrumental in saving Nidana and the others. I am eager to hear your opinion on the matter, so let us not stand on ceremony. Come, sit.
I think not.
Exactly.
This charade has gone on long enough. Show yourself.
Forgive me, but were you expecting musicians, perhaps? There are no performers waiting in the wings at present, but arrangements could be made if you'd prefer.
Nay, he hath the right of it. The time for artifice is past. Raise the curtain.
I knew it.
As you wish.
You travel as assistants to the students of Valdesian, but you are known to me. Even here have we heard of the scions of the Seventh Dawn.
Which one are you?
I am Vritra.
Vertra! Oh my god!
Hath this isle served as mine abode.
Vertra's Vanquisher. I still remember that title from Final Fantasy XI. Oh, that was awesome.
Vritra, of the first brood, sibling to Hraesvelga and Nidhogg.
Aye, mine elder brothers, of Midgardsormr's spawn. I was last to hatch.
Well, isn't this a surprise? We were told Radzat Han had an alliance with a dragon. Not that a great worm sat in the satrap's own hall.
A necessary subterfuge, as the true tale of our nation history illustrates most effectively. In the beginning, the rock upon which our city is built was home to Vitra, and Vitra alone. In time, the ancestors of the Matanga came to the island and established a foothold. but never did they dare disturb the worm's lair. Next to arrive with the Aura, adopting the example of their Akasodra allies, they too treated Vitra with reverence and respect. And for many years, an understanding between our forefathers and the Great Worm endured. Until marauding heroes from the mainland came, threatening to shatter our peace and tranquility. When it seemed all would be drowned in blood, Vitra himself came forth and quelled the rising conflict. A peaceful accord was reached, and oaths sworn in Vitra's name. Thus began the dragon's governance of the fledgling state, which was to grow into Radz Athan.
But if Ritra is still here, then your position as Satrap is just...
a charade, yes. And one which my family has performed faithfully for generations.
Many envy the great worms their power. Were it known that I ruled here, then the fires of war would burn without end. I would not be the flame which consumeth my people. Those few who join me in laying our country's foundations were, perforce, sworn to secrecy.
Such a good voice and not so crappy like the originals.
Your eye. It was taken.
'Tis here, buried within the semblance of flesh. The body before thee is but a simulacrum, constructed by the finest artisans of Razatan. With mine eye nestled within, it doth serve as an inconspicuous vessel for my will.
Okay, that's kind of cool. He created an Aura child puppet to house his second eye.
That would explain why I felt the presence of a dragon upon our first meeting.
I am woven with words fashioned to deceive such arcane senses. Though 'twas short-lived, it seemeth thy fusion with my brother hath left thee much altered. Estinian warm blood. From the very first, we sensed the nature of one another, yet did neither one of us bear his fangs. That is all I need know of thee for now.
With my secret thus revealed, I have for you a proposal. Not as a worm of the first brood, but as the ruler of Radz Athan. With all haste must we take in hand the finished talismans and breach this foul spire. Thence, should it lay within our power, dispel its wicked influence. Yet even with the assurance of the warding scales, the narrow confines of the tower doth limit the size of our force.
And thus denied strength in numbers, thou must choose thy soldiers with care.
Just so. Yet though our radiant host is formidable, I see a surer path before me. Thou and thy comrades have contended with a multitude of primal beings. Most recently, thou didst cast down false gods in Pagalthan and Cartanau, I am told. 'Tis upon that strength I would call. The Scions have proven themselves the most capable, and I ask that you serve as the tip of our spear. Talismans would, of course, be provided for each of thy companions. And should you agree to this undertaking, more will be provided to make use of as you see fit.
There's no denying it's a dangerous proposition, but the rewards may far outweigh the risk. Just think of what we might accomplish if we could equip all our allies with warding scales. I worry, however, that even the four of us may be too few for what you have in mind. Might we regroup with our friends first to discuss the matter?
'Tis no trifling task that I have laid before you. Go. Steel your hearts and hone your plans. Such time as you require shall be spent in crafting your protective charms.
It seems a quick trip back to Charlian is in order.
Wilt thou not lend thine aid?
Whether your request be made as a great worm or the ruler of Rads at Han, I see no reason to refuse, nor will I.
I am in thy debt.
Well, that was fucking kick-ass. These cutscenes are getting cool. We just only started the game. That meeting took a rather unexpected turn, but we now have a clear objective ahead of us. Let us rejoin our comrades in Charlian and muster a suitable crew for our foray in the Tower of Zot. Or as Zero called it, the Tower of Snot. I don't know why, but he did. Oh, and if you haven't already done so, be sure to attune to the Aetherite here before departing, unless, of course, you enjoy violent nausea.